Morici is with us, tenured economics professor. Good job that he's tenured. He'd lost his job a long time ago appearing on this program. Now, Peter Morici, I'm calling this the Trump rally. I think it's a rally based on the expectation of growth next year. What do you say?
Well, if Donald can put his program in place, cut the taxes, finance the infrastructure program, get our defense posture where it belongs, and most of all, stand down China, then America will grow at 4% a year with no problem. Those are no mean tricks. He's going to have a focused administration that operates on a systemic theme. That's going to be hard. But, you know, he's a man who knows how to run a big enterprise.
Okay. Where does an economics professor put his money in the market right now?
Well, I've always just indexed. That's what economists tend to do. I think if you bet on America, if you bet on the S&P 500, you can't go wrong. Essentially, you're betting, you know, what's in now, the message to Carrier and Ford and Apple and IBM is globalism is out. Americanism is in. We are no longer interested in pursuing policies that shore up this ethereal global village, but now it's about America first. After all, does Angela Merkel worry about us when she fashions German economic or foreign policy?
Let me raise the subject of Apple and India. The Indian government said to Apple, hey, you don't have much exposure, you don't have much presence in India. You could increase it if you start making your stuff in India. Sure enough, they are making some stuff in India, and they're selling it in India. I think there's a message there, because that's what Donald Trump is saying to China and to Apple as well. Why don't you make it here? That's what he's saying.
Absolutely. Donald has been criticized for telling Carrier, don't move the plant to Mexico, and for telling others the same. But if we live in a world where Apple is compelled to be complicit with China's monitoring of its citizens by contributing its technology, same thing with Google, and has to undertake R&D there to get its intellectual property protected, it is only reasonable that the United States adopt a similar policy. These are not the way the global economy is supposed to work, but if India won't play by the rules and China won't play by the rules, heck, it's economic warfare. We simply have to respond in kind. And the CEO at IBM, the CEO at Apple, and the other places have to get it through their heads. If they want to be American companies, have the support of American universities, the protection abroad of American diplomacy, then they have to start thinking like American companies, not global companies. And if not, there should be problems with Donald. They should have a hard time from the Oval Office if they continue to march to an Indian drummer or a Chinese drummer.
I want to talk to you very quickly about timing. The timing of the growth of 4% that so many people see in the future. When are we going to get 4% growth? Now, Peter, you addressed this by saying, look, if we get the tax cuts, if we face down China, if we do the infrastructure plan, do all of that, then we'll get 4% growth. Okay, when do we get 4% growth?
It's simply a matter of how imaginative he is about getting the infrastructure spending out. If he does it the way Barack Obama did through the usual processes, it'll be a long time in coming. The same thing with regulatory reform. A good number of the regulations were not by executive order. They were done under statute, which means he has to go through long and laborious processes. My advice to this administration is figure out what you want to get done, wrap it up all into a budget reconciliation bill. When Nancy Pelosi cries, play her back a tape of the passing of the health care reform, and just do it. You know, Congress can change all these regulations overnight, which simply by passing a law and Donald signing it. If he goes through the normal processes, it's going to be a long time in coming, and so will the growth. That's why I think this rally is a little bit ahead of itself.
Okay, well, it got a little bit ahead of itself. It was up 104 for the Dow. Now we're up just 80. But we're still, what, 25, 26 points away from Dow 20,000. Remarkable stuff.